Today's video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Use promo code 6 for 10% off on orders over $10. It's a good deal and it helps support the show. This video is also brought to you by the like button. Press it and be my friend. What is up, Planeswalkers? Theoric6 back with some more Magic the Gathering Arena. My apologies for yesterday's lack of video. I was initially going to play a Brawl, as that is usually what I do, but I had more work for grad school than I had anticipated initially. Didn't get done in time. Well, I got done because I took the time not to record. So hopefully you all are okay with that. But luckily, since we can actually play Brawl whenever, I'm going to play Brawl today. So this deck is Velma. Why is it called Velma? Well, it's because there is a person who is a member of the Discord server, friend of the channel, etc., etc., called Makfar, but his avatar is Shaggy. He talks like Shaggy, and he sent me this Kiora deck on the Discord server, and so I was like, let's play Kiora. And I was like, what name should I name it? And I was like, Shaggy was in a relationship with Velma. He called this deck like his babe or something like that. I don't know. So I was like, it's this. This is just a kind of ramp style deck. And, you know, there's some card, you know, we got Uro in here. It's like, why are you playing Uro? Uro's fine, right? But you'll notice one card, and this one like seems to very much be about, you know, +1/+1 counters, things like that. It's a lot less of your typical, oh, this is just Kiora nonsense. And notice, we don't have Thassa, and we don't have Agent Treachery. That's great. I didn't make this deck. As I said, this was Makfar, or Shaggy's, and I decided not to edit it. I could have. I just decided not to. We're just going to play a good old-fashioned Brawl. Brawl skill hold. Brawl. Oh, look at that sweet free. I didn't even know that I haven't played this yet. What did it say? Oko, Golos, Sorceress, yeah. Play with Velma. And we go on in. You're probably not going to see my face on today's thumbnail, because... one, I don't like Kiora. The character, I don't like Kiora. Two, I don't like how she looks with her gross blue face. And then I couldn't figure out a way to like put my face on like the Behemoth's face without too much work. This hand is pretty slow. We're going against Yarok. I'll still keep it though. I think it's kind of a risk not to. Shout out to the Devotion to Green party. We're just having a decent time here. Play Kiora on 3. One of these on 4. What are you playing here? Urban Utopia? Okay. It's an ETB, yeah. This Yarok deck is just going to be ETB Central. Chromatic Lantern. My opponent has, a very, very strong start. For sure. We'll get a Kiora out.
I defy gods.
They could just have Yarok next turn, and there's not much I can do about it. Oh well. We're just chilling. We're just chilling, having a good time, playing some fun magics. Uro. Okay. Not what I expected. Well, that's just rude. Guess I get a forest. So on 5 mana now. I mean, I can just cast this again. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna cast it again.
My pets are hungry, and you look like lunch.
I can potentially use Thorn Mammoth to just kill Yarok, but it does kill my Thorn Mammoth as well because Yarok has Death Touch, but it may be something I need to do. Cast a Yarok here. I get a double scry. Yeah. And I get to kill this, but I also get to draw a card, so I think that's probably reasonable. Yeah, I think it's reasonable to do.
The ocean surges, life thrives.
I just realized I have literally no idea how my opponent scryed. Let's see. Sure. That's a weird one. I guess just because the deck has so many ETBs, is my guess, but it feels a little strange. So we'll go ahead and play this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have potentially, what, 8 mana? Is this 4? Yeah. It's very hard to see with the... Yeah. 7 could be 8. I can play Nylea for 4. Then I can do this for only 3. Alternatively, I can just... Well, if I Growth Spiral, it takes 1 down, or I could just 1, 2, 2, 4, 6. Probably better to do that.
Hands off. I love to make a splash.
Cool. And I get some nice options here. Oh, I should have got rid of Growth Spiral. It's fine. The Great Henge. Frightening, but it's alright. What's nice is my opponent really hasn't been able to get much value here at all. Grazer, sure. The Great Henge is definitely an issue. Let's see. They messed that up. But they should have flipped that. Okay, let's see. Definitely play this. I think I'm going to Nylea here, because I expect I'm going to cast more spells. I think I'm going to Zigana. I'll draw 2 cards from this. Is at 4 out of 5. Whenever a non-token creature enters. I think I just want to get Nylea to be alive here.
And grows.
Yeah. Technically, I could, I don't attack, I don't think. Technically, I could have played Growth Spiral and then use the Heart's Desire part of this, but I think it's worth. I'm gonna go ahead and Dream Eater Yarok. Shoot. Okay, less good. Definitely, we're fucked now. We've lost. Yeah, that went from 0 to 1,000, real quick. What? Well, that's just strange. So my things cost quite a bit less here. Oh, that was dumb. That was not smart. That was a. Oh, they. Okay, interesting. Gonna untap Hydrocrisis. I can flash in Thrix. The fact that I'm not doing horribly here is amazing. Jeez. Luckily I have a 7/8 Nylea here. But yeah, blue-green, a little overpowered in standard. Jeez. Yarok's real strong. Yeah, I need to kill my opponent real quick. Nope. I refuse. Not gonna happen. Small Burb. Great name. Okay, Avatar. Going against Alela Flyers, we've got an early-ish mana ramp. We'll keep. Thornwood Falls. Next turn we get Pixie. And let's just attack for 2. Flyers are going to potentially be a problem here, especially since she has Death Talk. So next turn I could play Renata before I end up playing Kiora. And Kiora. I think I'm gonna play Renata first. Just to make all my subsequent creatures a little bit bigger. Never mind. Oh! Frankly, not what I was expecting. I'm gonna play Kiora.
Let's dive right into battle.
I wanted to get the super aggressive board out, but I think against this deck I really need to maintain some level of value.
Right on schedule. This might be
Apparently I'm just playing against Esper Control. I'm going to start to just murder my opponent. Hopefully. So apparently there's an Esper Control. This is rude. It's Alela, man. There's artifacts and enchantments. Yeah, there's Alela. Yeah, how about nah? I want to draw after I surveil. Does it take action? Gosh. I should have just drew the land, shouldn't I? That was dumb. Oh no, I played a land this turn. Yep. Oh right, but I could have untapped a Boreal Grazer. It's fine.
Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
It's fine. Do I kill Teferi? No, I kind of just want to dome him for 5. Let's see what my opponent does this turn. My plan is just to set up an end race Forerunners. Okay. Sure. Sure.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
I'd only really be able to attack with these two. I can still just attack with this. I think I can play Nylea into roll-esque.
Nature flows with vigor.
Okay, so he has fewer things now. Remember, kids, never leave house without artifact and enchantment removal. That's not great. That is not great. Shout out to Spark Double just being redonkulous these last couple of games. Oh, that's an interesting interaction. Not exactly what I wanted. That might be... This is a trigger. No, cool. That's what I was hoping for. So I can cast this and it'll actually, you know, survive. I can't find the only devastation for 10. No. Damn. Damn darn douche. Smothering Tithe. Well, I found the artifact enchantment stuff. Yeah, that happens. Yeah, we're not in it, really. I'm just gonna attack and allow my opponent to make functional blocks and then concede. Oh, they did that wrong. They waited. But not enough to win. It's close, but not enough. Because I gained back 9. Even if I max Finale of Devastation, I don't think it's going to be sufficient. Resolve, decline. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh wow, you have a... Oh, they didn't have a counter spell, that's nice. Oh. Okay. That might be sufficient. That still might be sufficient. They have 2 blockers. Ah, no, damn, they have Ethereal Absolution. That's another 4-2. So I have, what, 10, 17... That's 6. Damn it! I still don't think it's enough. Oh, I didn't realize I could do it twice anyway. Yeah, they have 8 worth, so. Yeah, I can't outpace that anymore. We got close. We got real close, but unfortunately, no cigar. Unfortunately, no cigar. I'll say some changes that I think you should make Makfar. Definitely include more interaction. Something, for what it's worth, I kind of knew this entire time that I was going to talk about stuff like this. For what it's worth. I didn't expect those 2 games to just have me thrashed. But I did kind of expect to talk about some of the issues that I see when people are building Brawl decks, but mainly Commander decks, is that you really work for a theme, but you don't use enough interaction. So, for example, right, we have no way of dealing with artifacts or enchantments, right? So let's see. I mean, it was pretty obvious that he was going for as many things that were powerful or greater as early as possible. But let's do, what is it? I think it's equal to, oops, greater than 4? Is it the other way around? Or do I actually need to say power? It's possible I need to say power. Do greater than, god dang it. Greater than equal to. Okay. So you see, we have a few things at the low end, right? But they're not necessarily the cards that you're going to necessarily want. Luftstruck Beast, it doesn't really play into the rest of the deck. Neither does Steeple Creeper. Nihilate Huntmaster is actually kind of fine. But cards like Nightback Ambusher are probably going to help you out a little bit more. Cavalier of Thorns is another card, which is probably going to be pretty helpful. Not only does it enter the battlefield and give you the natural draw with Kiora, but it does a lot more, and it allows you to rebuy some cards. Gotham Aronis kind of does help with the whole, murdering the crap out of things. But when you're looking just at the cards, for example, Affectionate Indrik is a card that I think you should be running in addition to Thornwood Mammoth, just because it's decent. But when you're looking for playing just a theme, you want to stick to the theme, but you don't want to stick to the theme to your own detriment, right? Yeah, the fact that there was no artifact chain removal, there was very little creature removal. When there are ways, you're playing big creatures anyway, why not play a, Rabid Bite, right? Rabid Bite is probably going to be pretty decent in this deck, considering you have a lot of relatively large creatures. It obviously doesn't work with your deck per se, but including something like a Thrashing Bronodon to get rid of artifacts and enchantments, it still allows you to play creatures, but you're not playing so many cards that kind of do nothing, right? Lovestruck Beast and Loathsome Chimera kind of do nothing, right? They're strong cards, they're like physically strong cards, but unless you have evasion or unless you have some sort of way to consistently keep your opponent down, you're probably not going to be able to do as much as you'd like. Additionally, you have some creature-based mana dorks. I would suggest running more non-creature-based mana dorks. So Arcane Signet, I think, is fantastic for the deck. And the reason for that is because, one, it allows you to do multiple things, like the turn it comes down. Whereas if I'm playing a Paradise Druid, the Paradise Druid has Summoning Sickness, I can't actually do anything with it. It's different than Arcane Signet. But since you're running so many specifically green creatures, I think that you could also gain a decent amount of benefit from the banner. The Heraldric Banner just naming green, because you have mostly green creatures. You have very few that aren't. But yeah, I think those are like the two main areas that I would personally try to work on, is focus a little bit less on having every card be a part of the theme, and focus a little bit more on, one, seeing if there are cards that fit your theme, that are going to be better suited for it. And then 2, thinking about the exact like cards you are deciding to use. So for example, Elysian Caryatid. This card makes sense in this deck because it's a mana ramp that actually fits your theme pretty well. Incubation Druid, it does because there's a sub-theme here. There's a +1/+1 counter sub-theme. And I think that fits the deck, once again, pretty well. Paradise Druid, not as much. Both between that and Marleaf Pixie, I'm not sure the extent to which these specific ones are needed. So just looking into that a little bit more, I think would be very beneficial. So yes, did I literally just play a person from the Discord's deck so that I could then mention the types of things I want to see a little bit more when people are building Brawl decks? Yes. I have a Mael EDH deck, and in that deck, I try to... Actually, do I have access to that quickly? No, I don't think I do. But I try to have access to cards that do multi-purpose things. So when I say decks need a little bit more interaction, Thorn Elemental here, or Thorn Mammoth, or whatever it's called, that is a card that I would consider removal. And I would include that with, this is a creature power forward raider, and it's a removal piece. If we had a creature that was 4 or more power, that said, when this enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact or enchantment, I would include that, right? As an artifact enchantment removal. If we were... Imagine, for some reason, Kiora is also white. If we had Realm Cloak Giant in the deck, I would count that as a board wipe, because it literally has a board wipe attached to it, and it's a 7/7, so it would trigger her ability, if this were possible. My opponent's Alela deck had a great example of this. Kaya's Wrath, or Oath of Kaya, gosh. That is removal, but it's also an enchantment, right? So it really helps. Other types of cards in there, like usually you're going to want some sort of ramp. In Alela, it's kind of easy because Heraldric Banner and... Why is this music so loud? Heraldric Banner and Arcane Signet kind of just work fantastically in that deck because, one, Banner is going to be able to buff your blue elves or your blue fairies. And then Arcane Signet, like, even if you draw it late, it's not as big of a deal if you have Alela out, because then at least you get a flyer out of it, right? So, this is kind of a a gameplay video with a little bit of a deck building tips with 6. Use that as you will. I'm not an authority. I'd like to thank my lovely patrons, especially Zen, for the continued support. If you'd like to join them and support the show, you'll find links to that down in the description below. Hope you've enjoyed this video and the accompanying 2 cents. If you did, go ahead and tap that like button, add subscription, share mana pool, cast a comment in the comment section down below, pass the turn, end the vid to some of your friends, and of course, until next time, all will be one.